Hi, and I love you. I'm Heather Peterson Lockhart, and I'm the Chiefess. I wanted to share this train of thought I'm having with you. This morning, my son and I realized to the degree with which we speak intuitively. And it's always been that way, ever since he was born. He and I have a very intuitive relationship, but we were able to put skin on it with words today. And, well, I mean, I'll tell you real quickly. I was going to the bathroom. He was not in the bathroom with me. He was in another part of the house. And I was like, because the dog followed me into the bathroom, and I just wanted to go to the bathroom by myself. So he knows why I'm grunting. And like I said, from another part of the house, he whistles, so she'll come to him. And I smiled. And then I went to the bathroom. And then I realized that I didn't say thank you. Then I realized that I've never said thank you to him for doing this. And he does it often. And things like that, often. But then I noticed that, how do I say, there was the absence of guilt in the way that I hadn't said thank you. It's like I felt no debt. I didn't feel like, well, I need to tell him thank you. On an intuitive level, I knew he knew. And then I said to him, hey, you know, I've never said thank you. I thank you when you do that. And he said, you're welcome. And I said, I know why you do that. And he said, mm-hmm. And I said, did you know that I know you do that? And he said, mm-hmm. And I said, did you know I appreciate it? And he said, mm-hmm. And I said, how do you know? And he said, I just know. I just know. And the thing is, I knew he knew. It's like we had this whole understanding. And for the first time, though, I guess I was able to draw it from, excuse me, my subconscious programming level to my conscious awareness. So I was thinking about that. And then I was thinking about how, you know, today I'm just kind of quiet. I'm just kind of processing. I would say I'm more vulnerable than usual. And I was thinking about how I'm a different parent now with my son, and he gets to see all parts of me. You know, I'll say, oh, I just feel like crying. And he'll say, well, maybe you should cry, you know. And this was an evolutionary process. This wasn't overnight. When I had my girls, and this is the part that I really want to share. I remember that when I got sober, you know, I came to the realization that I had no freaking clue what I was doing. I had no book. I had no experience. And I definitely didn't know what I was doing as a mother. I didn't even know what I was doing as a sober woman that was not escaping life, right? Living life on life's terms. So I told them that. I said, I was like, you know, I don't know. Like, this is my first time. And there were so many times when I would say to them, you know, this is the best I got right now. I don't know if this is the right thing, but this is the best by what I have. And of course, you know, I've been taught in a program of recovery to seek others out that I like what they're doing and the way they're doing it and the results that they have. And to ask their advice and their opinion and things, and to consult others. So all that together, you know, I would formulate the best opinion. But this was my first time to the rodeo, and I told them that so often. And I let them see me struggle. I let them see me without the answers. I let them see me scared shitless. Really, I really, because I had truly decided to show up to life. And as a single parent and a mother of 3, there's no hiding that. There's no place to go. I mean, you don't go to the bathroom by yourself. You know what I mean? So the first time I remember that we had those conversations, you know, from the time I got sober, where I was very vulnerable and authentic in the way that I told them, like, I did my best, but I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. And then when they were in the 9th grade, one of my daughters said, "Mom, you became faultless when you admitted all your faults." And it's to this day, I think, my favorite compliment that I've ever been given. And then later, a few years later, I went through a very spiritual experience where I guess the common, the fun, the popular term would be I rebirthed a part of myself. And I was so extremely vulnerable, I didn't want to leave the house. And, you know, when you go from cock diesel, big mouth, aggressive personality to like a 5-year-old, that's a drastic difference. And it's not like I was going to try to keep that a secret. So I had to let my kids in on what was going on. And I had to ask for their help. I had to ask for their help by being vulnerable, by just being human, and realizing that, my understanding, I've always called these little people our souls on loan to me. And I am given tutelage, and I am given charge over their development. I'm not given dominion over them. I am, it's, I've not had a hard time when people say, well, do you confuse the friendship with the child rearing? And the answer is no. Like, I have no problem, keeping them in line. I have no problem disciplining them. And that's because, but then again, that's the way I feel as a human. I have no problem speaking that, because to me it doesn't compromise or infringe upon our friendship. Like, that's just the way we do. So I definitely don't have a problem disciplining my kids. That's the opposite end of the spectrum. And yet at the same time, they're all my buddies. And so I was, to put that all, into one, I didn't come from a school of thinking where we were souls on loan under tutelage. That's not, or not even on loan, just placed in your garden. You know what I mean? And I think that's one way that my parenting has really been good. And it wasn't because I chose to like, haha, I understand this is going to be a great decision to move forth in this way. I'm really going to be a great parent and do this and do it this way. It was not that. It was, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And there's no faking the funk here. Might as well really, really, really show up. And when I say I ask their help, what I mean is, I would say to them, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers here. I'm doing my best. That wasn't an excuse to step out of line and go crazy with your behavior or your mouth. It didn't mean I lost control of my parenting or my family. It meant that, like, I didn't have to show up in a conquering capacity, knowing everything and always having the answers. Sometimes that stay of execution simply allowed the solution to come in. I didn't feel like, as a parent, that came with the package, like the parenting package, like that, where you're always supposed to have the answers and you're supposed to be like, well, this is how it goes, because that for me would have been a lie and I would have had a hard time selling it. So I was just like, I don't know, I do know this part. I do know this. We're going to move forward like this, but I don't know that. And I don't know that. And this scares the crap out of me right now, to be honest. So let's just like hold, I would say things like that. But I guess in retrospect, it's so funny because at the time I felt like that was an utter failure. At the time I was like, who does that? Who says I don't know and like we're really not sure how we're going to move forward? I used to get so angry at myself. today I'm sitting here looking at it, building a small human that shows up in such a whole capacity that he blows me away. You know, like, my son will say things like, well, change your words. That's just, you know, if I say something like, well, gosh, that was a stupid move or something, you know, he'll you know, that's about, he calls me on the word. And he has a much more full understanding of a human present in all capacities, because I have, the only way I can think of to explain it is I've done the work to dissolve the walls, you know. I needed these walls and the fortress and the conquering voice and the I understand everything. We will move forth as such before, because I didn't know Jack and it scared the shit out of me. And now I still don't know Jack. The truth is, once you start to really understand something, you realize you don't know Jack. But I might have a few more answers. In some ways I have less. In a lot of ways I have less. But I know I'm a capable human, and so I allow all parts of me to come forth and to be present in all facets of my parenting. And it's really, really, really beautiful today. Really, really beautiful. So I just wanted to share that by breaking down and being absolutely without answers, the answers came. You know what I mean? Isn't that the way it usually works? So thanks so much for your time. Thanks for allowing me to share. I love you.